All right, so we're diving into this Wan Nang Kum soap.
Sounds exotic.
Right. I know you're curious about it, and I have to say, after going through all these notes, I am too.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of buzz around this soap, especially for its natural ingredients and some pretty impressive claims. So what do you say we take a closer look at all this and see what we can uncover?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great.
Yeah, let's do it.
So where do we even begin with something like this?
Oh, well, I think what's really interesting about this soap is that it's not just, another product jumping on that whole natural skincare trend.
Yeah.
It's actually steeped in tradition. Like we're talking about ancient remedies and time-tested ingredients here.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a marketing gimmick.
No, not at all.
All right. I'm interested.
Yeah, this is the real deal.
Okay. So where do we start?
Well, let's start with the star ingredient, right?
Yeah.
Wan Nang Kum.
Okay.
You might know it as wild turmeric,
Oh, yeah.
which is already kind of a superstar in the natural health world.
For sure. I've definitely heard about turmeric lattes and, all the anti-inflammatory properties. But how does that translate to skincare?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The sources we have really dive deep into the specific types of antioxidants that are found in Wan Nang Kum, particularly these things called curcuminoids.
Curcuminoids. Yeah.
And these are powerful compounds that can target a whole bunch of different skin concerns.
Wow.
From hyperpigmentation and uneven skin tone to even fine lines and wrinkles.
So it's not just a one-trick pony.
Not at all. Think of it as like a multifaceted approach to skin health.
I like that.
Yeah, and one of the sources I was looking at even mentioned a study where curcumin was shown to inhibit the production of melanin,
Oh, wow.
which is what causes those dark spots and unevenness that a lot of people struggle with.
Right.
So the brightening effect of this ingredient isn't just anecdotal. There's actual science backing it up.
That's impressive. But I have to admit, I've tried turmeric masks before, and let's just say they can be a bit messy. Is this soap going to stain my skin yellow?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the way Wan Nang Kum is formulated in this soap is designed to give you all those benefits without the staining.
Okay.
The sources mention that the curcuminoids are extracted and processed in a way that minimizes staining while still maximizing how effective they are.
That's a relief. So we've got brightening, anti-aging benefits from Wan Nang Kum. What else is in this superhero lineup of ingredients?
Next up, we have compressed coconut oil,
Okay.
which might sound familiar, but this isn't your average coconut oil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this specific type has gone through this process to remove excess water and impurities,
Interesting.
which makes it way more concentrated and potent,
So it's like coconut oil on steroids.
basically. It really amplifies all the benefits of coconut oil that we already know and love.
So what does that do for my skin?
Well, for one, it's packed with lauric acid.
Okay.
And this is a powerhouse ingredient when it comes to cleansing your skin. Yeah. Lauric acid is naturally antibacterial and antifungal, so it helps to keep your skin clear and balanced.
Mm-hmm.
But without disrupting its natural microbiome, which
Yeah.
is so important.
So it's tough on impurities, but gentle on my skin's natural balance.
Exactly. Plus, the sources highlight that compressed coconut oil is also packed with antioxidants,
Okay.
especially vitamin E, which we know is so crucial for protecting your skin from environmental damage.
Right.
Just think about things like pollution, UV rays,
Yeah.
all those things that contribute to premature aging.
Right.
Compressed coconut oil helps to kind of shield against all that.
It's like a shield against the elements.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see why this soap is getting so much attention.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive so far.
Yeah.
And we're not even done yet. The third key ingredient is palm kernel oil,
Okay.
which I know can be a bit controversial.
Yeah, I've definitely heard about the negative impact of palm oil production, especially on rainforests and wildlife.
Absolutely. And those are very valid concerns.
Yeah.
However, it's super important to distinguish between palm oil and palm kernel oil.
Oh, okay.
Palm kernel oil comes from the seed of the oil palm fruit, while palm oil comes from the fruit itself.
Interesting.
And the sources we have actually point to research that indicates that palm kernel oil production tends to have a much lower environmental impact compared to palm oil.
That's good to know. But putting the environmental aspect aside for a moment, what does palm kernel oil actually do for my skin?
Well, palm kernel oil is a really rich source of fatty acids,
Okay.
and it's particularly high in something called lauric acid.
Oh, wait, didn't we talk about lauric acid earlier?
We did. Remember what we said about it?
Yeah, it's a powerful cleanser, antibacterial and antifungal.
Exactly. So in this soap, the palm kernel oil works together with the compressed coconut oil to give you this amazing deep clean
Wow.
while still respecting your skin's natural barrier.
It's like a double whammy of cleansing power.
I know, right?
So far, we've got brightening, anti-aging, and cleansing benefits covered. What else can this soap do?
Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, wow.
The sources also highlight the soap's potential for addressing issues like acne, eczema, and even psoriasis.
Really?
Yeah, apparently the combination of those anti-inflammatory and antibacterial and moisturizing properties creates this sort of healing trifecta for a bunch of different skin conditions.
It's starting to sound like a miracle in a bar of soap.
I know, right?
But, I have to ask, is it really possible for one product to do all of this effectively? Isn't that kind of pushing the limits of believability?
Well, that's a healthy skepticism to have.
Yeah.
And to be fair, not all the claims about this soap have been scientifically proven.
Okay.
But there's certainly a lot of anecdotal evidence and traditional wisdom supporting its effectiveness.
So it's not just hype. There's some substance to these claims.
Yeah, I think that's what's so fascinating about this whole deep dive.
Yeah.
We're delving into a space where ancient practices meet modern science. It's really about exploring the potential of these ingredients and understanding how they might all work together to address these various skin concerns.
Yeah.
And that in itself, I think, is pretty intriguing, don't you?
I totally agree. And you know what else is intriguing?
That's that.
The sources mentioned that this soap could be a game changer in terms of cost savings and simplifying our skincare routines.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about that after a quick...
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're not taking any more breaks today. Let's just keep this conversation going.
Let's go.
So before we kind of got sidetracked, we were starting to get into the whole cost-saving and minimalist aspect of this soap.
Right.
Is it really possible that this one bar could replace an entire cabinet full of skincare products?
That's the claim, and frankly, it's one of the most appealing aspects of this soap.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where you don't need separate cleansers and toners and serums and moisturizers.
Right.
It's all streamlined into this one simple step.
That sounds almost too good to be true, but how does that actually work? What makes this soap so multifunctional?
Well, it goes back to that unique combination of ingredients and their synergistic effects.
Okay.
We've already talked about how the Wan Nang Kum, the compressed coconut oil, and the palm kernel oil all work together to cleanse, brighten, and protect the skin.
Right, like a triple threat of skincare benefits.
Exactly. But the sources also highlight how the soap's formulation itself contributes to its versatility.
Okay.
It's crafted to be gentle enough for use on both the face and body, and even as a shampoo.
Oh, wow.
The natural oils provide this gentle cleansing action without stripping away all the essential moisture that your skin needs.
Right.
While the Wan Nang Kum and those other botanical extracts offer additional benefits depending on where you use it.
So it's not just about the individual ingredients, but how they work together as a whole.
Precisely. It's a holistic approach to skincare, addressing multiple needs with just this one product.
I see.
And when you really think about the potential cost savings here, it's pretty remarkable. Yeah, the average person spends hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on skincare products every year.
Oh, yeah. Those fancy serums and creams can really add up.
Tell me about it.
But realistically, how much could someone actually save by switching to this soap? Did the sources give any specific numbers?
Actually, one of the sources I was looking at did a cost comparison analysis.
Oh, wow.
And the results were pretty impressive.
Okay.
They estimated that using this soap exclusively could save someone an average of 70% on their annual skincare expenses.
70%. That's a significant chunk of change. I'm starting to understand why people are so excited about this soap.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the natural versus conventional debate.
Okay.
We touched on it briefly earlier, but I think it's worth diving a little deeper.
Yeah, for sure.
This soap is positioned as a natural alternative to conventional skincare products. And the sources make some pretty bold claims about the potential downsides of those products. Yeah. They mention harsh chemicals, potential irritation, and even long-term damage to the skin. But honestly, a lot of conventional skincare products seem to work just fine.
They do.
What's the real story here?
Well, it's a complex issue with a lot of nuances.
Yeah.
On one hand, many conventional skincare products do contain ingredients that have been scientifically proven to be effective for certain skin concerns.
Like retinol for wrinkles or salicylic acid for acne.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's growing concern about the long-term effects of repeated exposure to certain chemicals that are commonly found in these products.
I see.
The sources highlight ingredients like sulfates, parabens, and synthetic fragrances as potential culprits.
So it's not necessarily that conventional skincare is inherently bad, but rather that there might be some hidden risks associated with certain ingredients.
That's a fair assessment.
Okay.
And it's important to remember that everyone's skin is different.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Of course.
Some people might tolerate conventional products just fine, while others might experience irritation, breakouts, or even allergic reactions.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's really about being informed and making conscious choices about what we're putting on our skin.
Right, being an informed consumer.
Exactly.
And that's why this deep dive is so valuable. It's about exploring different perspectives and understanding the potential benefits and risks, and ultimately empowering our listeners to make informed decisions about their own skincare routines.
Couldn't agree more.
But before we get too philosophical, I want to circle back to the Wan Nang Kum herbal cream soap specifically.
Okay.
What are some of the things that people should keep in mind if they're considering trying it out?
Yeah.
Any potential downsides or things to be aware of?
Well, like with any new product, it's always a good idea to do a patch test first.
Right.
Especially if you have sensitive skin or a history of allergies.
Yeah.
Even natural ingredients can cause reactions in some people.
Right. Better safe than sorry. What about the scent? I've used some natural soaps that have a very strong earthy smell that I'm not a huge fan of.
That's a valid point. The sources actually mentioned that this soap has a pretty mild, slightly herbal scent that's generally well tolerated.
Okay.
It's not overpowering or perfumey at all, more like a subtle hint of natural freshness.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
And what about the lather? Some natural soaps don't lather very well, which can be a bit frustrating.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the sources describe the lather as rich and creamy, despite the absence of those harsh sulfates.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, the combination of the natural oils and the soap-making process itself creates this luxurious lather that leaves your skin feeling really clean and soft.
Wow, it's like they've thought of everything.
I know, right?
I'm getting more and more intrigued by this soap with every detail we uncover.
Me too. And you know what really strikes me about this whole deep dive?
What's that?
It's not just about a bar of soap. It's about a shift in mindset, like a return to simplicity and a renewed appreciation for the power of nature.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's like this soap is a symbol of a larger movement towards conscious consumerism and a more holistic approach to well-being.
Exactly. And I think that's a powerful message that resonates with a lot of people today.
For sure.
We're becoming more aware of the impact our choices have on our health, the environment, and the world around us.
It's about making mindful decisions that align with our values.
Exactly.
And it seems like this Wan Nang Kum herbal cream soap is a perfect example of a product that embodies those values.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to simplify my own skincare routine and explore more natural options.
Me too. And I think that's the beauty of these deep dives.
Yeah.
They spark curiosity, they encourage critical thinking, and ultimately they empower us to make positive changes in our lives.
Absolutely. And speaking of positive changes, the sources also touch upon the potential social impact of choosing products like this soap.
Oh.
Let's dive into that after, quick.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're not taking any more breaks today.
All right.
Let's keep this conversation flowing.
Sounds good.
What can you tell us about the social impact of this soap?
Well, one of the most fascinating things I discovered while researching this soap was its connection to fair trade practices and community empowerment.
So it's not just about the ingredients themselves, but also about the ethical and sustainable practices behind sourcing those ingredients.
That's right. The sources explain that the Wan Nang Kum used in this soap is sourced directly from small-scale farmers in Southeast Asia who were paid fair wages and practice sustainable harvesting methods.
So it's really making a difference in those communities.
Absolutely, and it goes even deeper than that.
Oh, wow.
The sources also highlight the fact that the production of this soap also provides employment opportunities for local communities, which helps to support economic growth and improve livelihoods.
It's like a ripple effect of positive impact, starting with the farmers who grow the Wan Nang Kum and extending to the communities where the soap is produced and sold.
Precisely. And I think that's something worth celebrating.
Absolutely.
It shows that it's possible to create products that are not only good for our skin, but also good for the planet and the people who inhabit it.
It's a reminder that our choices have power. And by supporting brands that prioritize ethical and sustainable practices, we can contribute to a more just and equitable world.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From the science behind the ingredients to the social impact of choosing this soap.
It's been a journey.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we start wrapping things up?
One thing that really stood out to me throughout all this research was the emphasis on the traditional wisdom behind this soap.
Okay.
It's not just a trendy product, you know?
Yeah.
It's a continuation of these ancient beauty rituals that have been passed down for generations.
It's like a bridge between the past and the present, honoring the wisdom of our ancestors while embracing modern innovations.
Exactly. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
For sure.
It reminds us that there's so much we can learn from the past, and that nature holds this incredible wealth of knowledge and healing power.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to transition into our final takeaway.
Right.
So after this deep dive into Wan Nang Kum's herbal cream soap, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What do you hope they walk away with?
I think the most important takeaway is that this soap represents a really different approach to skincare.
Okay.
One that emphasizes simplicity, natural ingredients, and a holistic understanding of skin health. It encourages us to really think about the ingredients in our products and to consider the potential benefits of traditional wisdom.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most effective solutions are found in nature.
Exactly.
What else?
Well, we can't overlook the potential economic and social benefits that are associated with this soap. By supporting products that prioritize fair trade practices and community empowerment, we're not just taking care of our skin, we're also contributing to a more sustainable and equitable world.
It's about voting with our dollars and supporting brands that align with our values.
Right.
What a powerful concept.
It is.
Is there anything else that stood out to you during this deep dive that you'd like to share with our listeners?
You know what I find most fascinating about this soap? Is that it sparks a sense of curiosity.
Oh, okay.
It makes you wonder what other hidden gems are out there in the world of natural skincare and traditional remedies.
Yeah.
It opens up this whole new realm of possibilities for taking care of ourselves in a way that's both effective and in harmony with nature.
It's an invitation to explore, to experiment, and to rediscover the power of ancient wisdom.
I love that.
I love that too. And I have to say, I'm personally feeling inspired to try out the soap for myself and see what all the buzz is about.
Me too. It's definitely piqued my interest, and I'm eager to experience those benefits firsthand.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've taken a deep dive into Wan Nang Kum's herbal cream soap, exploring its ingredients, benefits, potential cost savings, ethical considerations, and even its connection to ancient beauty rituals.
Phew, it's been quite a journey.
It really has.
It's been a fascinating journey of discovery, and I hope our listeners have found it as insightful and thought-provoking as we have.
Absolutely. And if you've been intrigued by what you've heard today, we encourage you to do your own research.
Yeah.
Explore the world of natural skincare, and maybe even give the soap a try.
Right.
We'd love to hear about your experiences.
Until next time, keep diving deep and stay curious.
And remember, sometimes the most profound discoveries are found in the simplest of things.